Hi everyone. Meetings and training sessions are a very important part of any business today. They are important to keep the team updated, to inform the team about the new rules and changes, to discuss what needs to be done. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the meetings, and there are 2 points I need to mention before I discuss them. Point 1. I'm going to talk about meetings, not training sessions. Training sessions can be discussed in a future video, maybe the next video. Point 2. I'm going to talk about the meetings concerning the teaching process, concerning education. I'm not going to talk about meetings that are connected with other jobs. Each job, each business has its own case. So today, as I said, only teaching and only meetings. If you want, for training sessions, you'll have to wait for a week or a couple of weeks, and there will be a video about the training sessions. The first thing I need to put in mind before I have the meetings is how long should the meeting last? Remember, the speaker in the meeting would take the biggest share of the meeting time. And I say the biggest share, not all the time, and I'll explain why later. Others will be listening. So, the meeting should not exceed 1 hour maximum. Remember, it's a meeting, not an interview. And most people in any job don't like to attend meetings. They don't like meetings in general, either online or offline. So most of them will attend the meeting because they have to, not because they want to. So unless you want them to fall asleep, try to make your meetings as short and brief as possible. Of course, without missing the main or the important points you are originally holding the meeting to discuss or to talk about. An important point before you start the meeting is that you have to inform the attendants and the people in the meeting conference when they can ask questions. Now, some people have no problem when others interrupt them. So you can tell the attendants that you can raise your hand anytime I'm speaking and then ask your questions. Some others prefer to receive questions after the end of each point. When they're discussing a point, so you can tell the people, this is the end of first point or second point before we proceed to another point. If some of you have any questions, please raise your hands and I can answer. The third way is to tell the attendants that please, if you have any questions, you can ask me all of your questions at the end of the meeting. So it's up to you. It's your choice. You can choose the way that's most convenient for you. The second point is, what are you going to discuss in the meeting? What are you going to say in the meeting? What's the topic? Of course, you mustn't, and I say mustn't, I didn't say you shouldn't or you don't have to. I said you mustn't hold a meeting every time you breathe, or you shouldn't hold a meeting just to show that you're a company and you want to impress others that, yeah, look at me. I have meetings. I hold meetings in my company. And by the way, you can watch a video about that from here. So pay attention to what you are going to say in the meeting. Don't forget that nowadays most new information could be sent by email. So it's much easier nowadays to avoid the long time or the long preparation process for your meeting. You can simply send an email, and I'm not saying something new. Of course, unless you have to hold a one-to-one meeting, which of course we may discuss later. Now, there are 2 cases when you must hold a meeting. And again, I say again, I'm not talking about one-to-one meetings. They are different. I'm not talking about them now. Case 1. When you have some new regulations and you need to explain them to your co-workers or your colleagues or your team, especially when you are dealing with governmental regulations, governmental official regulations. So some of them may have a lot of questions and will have a lot of questions. Some others might misunderstand some points. They think, okay, we understood this point, but in reality they totally misunderstood what that point really means. So it's also good for them, good for those who already have questions, to ask their questions, and also good for others because they might ask some questions which other people think they know, and you explain to them, and they find out that, oh no, what we understood was wrong. So this is case 1 when you really must hold a meeting. The second case is when you see a lot of teachers not following the regulations or the rules or the policy of the company. So in this case, you must hold the meeting. And again, if you're talking about big numbers, if you're talking about small numbers, as I said, you can have a small meeting or one-to-one meeting with one person. But if you're talking about big numbers, so yeah, you must hold a meeting, you must discuss with the teachers why they are doing that, why they are not following the program, or not the program, I don't like this word, I would say they are not following the policy. If they have some suggestions, if they have some questions, maybe they have some problems, you as a boss or a manager, you can help them with. So it's important to hold this meeting in this case. Now, the essential point which applies to both the previous cases is that you should avoid words like you should be creative or you should think outside the box, etc. These words or these terms or expressions are general talk, and they don't really add any real benefit unless you provide real and good examples. And I'm going to start with myself. Imagine a situation when a person or a student comes to the lesson tired, bored, has no energy. And I say, okay, the best way to deal with this student is to think outside the box. Yeah, so there is a box here, and despite the fact the box is nice and decorated, has nice colors, I should think outside it. So shall I go outside the box, kick the box, or put the box away, stand there and think outside it? How? Or, it's better to be creative. Ah, that's great, to be creative. Yeah, it's a button. I press the button, and then I turn to a creative person. This is nonsense. It doesn't work. I can say that whenever you have a situation or you face a situation like that, from my experience, and others could have better ideas, but my idea is to take the book or the Excel material you prepare and the plan you prepare and just throw it to trash. Or, no, it's not your book, so don't throw it to trash, just put it away. And talk with a student. Talk. Discuss. Talk about what they like to do when they're tired, what activities to do to feel relaxed, what really makes them relaxed, or what anything which is not connected or which is not about grammar and rules and functional language and vocabulary and don't worry, as long as the student listens, or as long as the student is listening to you and is trying to produce the language, so there is input and output, they will benefit from this practice. For long terms, yes, they will benefit from that. You can call it thinking outside the box, or creativity, or both, or whatever you want. There is one kind of meetings which you should really attend, which is informal meeting, when you actually meet with your colleagues, either online or in person, drink, smoke, talk about anything but job. No need to explain more. I love such meetings personally. As you noticed, I talked mostly about those who hold meetings. So for those who have to attend meetings, I don't know what to tell them. They don't have too much freedom to choose to attend or not to attend. They must attend. But I can give some suggestions. First suggestion, well, actually it's one suggestion divided into two small suggestions. Make sure your mobile phones are fully charged. So during the meeting, the boring meeting, which I call waste my time meeting, if you are ever attending a waste my time meeting, make sure your batteries or battery of your mobile phone is fully charged. So during the meeting, you can watch something useful, like my videos, or you can read something useful, like sources that support what I say in my videos. Or if you're lucky enough, you can find a spot where you can actually sleep without your boss seeing you, like some of my colleagues in my previous job did. I was an eyewitness. Now, what I talked about was, again, based on my own experience. I worked in several places and I saw the difference between real meetings and waste my time meetings. So you might have some other cases where you must attend a meeting. You can have some ideas or some experience to share. As always, you are welcome to express your ideas, your experience, your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching, and see you later.